Right.
And on this episode of Jewish Baseball More Than a Podcast, we're joined by a true competitor, a leader on and off the field, and someone who's made an impact at every level of the game, Jake Hale. Hailing from Albany, Ohio, Jake made his name as an All-American right-handed pitcher for the Ohio State University. He still holds the number one spot for most saves in a single season with the Buckeyes and ranks two all-time in career saves and top five in appearances. An absolute force on the mound, if I may add. Drafted not once, not twice, but three times before going pro. Jake eventually signed with the Diamondbacks in 2009 and went on to have a 10-year professional career, including playing in Venezuela, Colombia, and Nicaragua. He's a five-time All-Star across multiple leagues, the Northwest, Can-Am, and the Atlantic League. Since hanging up the cleats, Jake hasn't slowed down. He's now the owner of JH Performance, where he's helping athletes reach their peak, and the San Diego Jackhammers, continuing his legacy in the game he loves. Jake, welcome to the podcast, and it's an honor to have you on.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. That got me a little pumped up now.
Of course.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you guys having me on. Super honored to be on here with what you're doing. I'm just stoked to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's funny finding you on here, Jake. I mean, obviously we're connected, but tell everyone where this podcast finds you, and then obviously quite the resume that Danny just went over, but can you share a little bit more about what the last like 5, 10 years have looked like with the glove business?
Yeah, you can find JH Performance. We do gloves, batting gloves, sliding mitts, jerseys, hats, clothes, you name it. We're kind of into it. Branching out to other little ventures in the football now. And, we obviously do things in softball already. But you can find us on all social medias at JH Pro Gloves and on the website, jhprogloves.com. Last, 5 or so years, I did retire in 2018, so it's like going on year 7 now. Flown by. I can't believe that it's been that long since I've suited up, but I was running around doing lessons and things as soon as I retired, and kind of got talked into doing a little travel ball team with a couple kids that I was training and stuff. Their parents hit me up. They're like, "Oh, let's just keep playing games through the summer." So I started a team in Alpine, California. It's about 40 minutes east of here, and that was my first little team. And my idea was just like, I've had a cool opportunity in my life, being able to travel around and play all over the world and be around a bunch of great baseball minds, being from a incredibly small town in Ohio. And so I just wanted to have that opportunities that I had and the experiences that I took in, and be able to pass that on to the youth and give that opportunity to someone else, or hopefully a lot of other kids, you know what I mean? And just share that drive with what I'm doing. So we've grown that into, now we're currently running 4 teams, but we'll run 7 teams in the spring, and it's just growing. And we're, bringing some new coaching in, and Maddie's been a huge help of that. She runs a lot of my infield stuff with the guys, and it's been my little family that I've kind of built and grown. So that's really what I'm doing right now.
That's so cool. Just continuing to grow the game at every level. And just kind of going off what you said, you said you play with a lot of great baseball minds. So I actually have a two-part question for you. Who's the best baseball mind that you've ever played with? And since you played in a lot of different countries, what has the best culture for baseball
Oh,
that you've seen?
that's a good one. That's a good one. To answer your first one, I've been around some cool dudes. I mean, Bob Didier, he was a backup catcher for the Yankees way back in the day. His dad was in the game too, and he was an incredibly intelligent person. He was always like 3 innings ahead. In terms of like pitching wise, man, Doug Drabeck, 1990 Cy Young Award winner, 22 wins that season. That dude kind of changed my career a little bit. Gave me a new pitch, taught me the cutter, man, and that just changed my whole game. Like, it was just a pitch that I could go to. It's like, I really don't know what to throw right here. Let me just throw this one. And it always missed barrels. And those two guys kind of combined, really, Bob being a catcher and, Doug being a pitcher, just the knowledge of, the game right there between those two. Those would probably, I'd say, be my top two minds that I've been around. And then, what was the second part of that question? Because I got real deep on Bob and him.
Yeah, absolutely. The second part was, since you've been all over the world, playing baseball, what baseball culture you experienced?
Dude, Venezuela is something else. Venezuela is, I feel like it's the European Cup in soccer. Dude, it's so incredible. Like, the people in the stands know the game as well as you do as a player. So it's like whenever you're here in a game and the ball goes in the air, everybody's like, oh, it's got a chance. And it's like an infield fly. You know what I mean? Like people there know when the ball is going out, when it's not, if it's a sack fly, if it has the ability to move runners over. They understand the bunt, hitting the ball in the hole, hitting runs. Like they understand what it all means. Like they are very in tune with the game and the passion for their teams down there. It's crazy. It's so much fun, dude. Like the only thing I have on it is like the average game time's like over 5 hours.
That's a lot.
Their rosters are so huge, and dude, it's just matchup after matchup after matchup. They got like 25 guys in the pen. It's so crazy.
That's insane. I remember watching like it was Dominican and Venezuela play. They're in the World
Mm.
Baseball Classic a few years ago, and I was just like, I looked at my dad. I was sitting on the couch and watching. I'm like, that just looks like a party. Like that looks like the
Oh,
best environment at a baseball game that you could possibly be at. It looked like a college football tailgate at a
oh,
baseball.
dude, I'm telling you, like they've got. Well, I played for the Tiburones de la Guaira, and we played in Caracas. And dude, we had our big thing for our team is they had the sambas, the drums. So they were always out there just boom, 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 and they all had like these cadences and all this stuff. And then they had dancers at the field and just going and like, dude, it was crazy. I take a Manny down to the Toros game, and it's like it's kind of almost like a sensory overload. Down there, it's more of like it's a sensory overload, but a focused sensory overload. It's got to do with like pumping the game up, not just keeping your interest of whatever's happening. So it's like constantly, and you can feel the adrenaline pumping in your like you ain't even in the game, and you're like, let's go,
You're
you
ready to
know.
go in.
You're at the Coliseum, just ready. It's like
Awesome.
it's great, dude. I mean, oh, if I could go back there and play 20 years, it's
Sounds
So
it.
your whole life, you kind of had to make a path for yourself, coming out of a small town Ohio. Where does that mindset come from, and how does that kind of continue to motivate you to do the same thing with, your glove brand and the rest, your professional career? How did that all kind of play into it?
yeah. I grew up with a pretty big staple behind me. Shit, Maddie, you hit me hard. Since all this Mother's Day stuff's coming up too, like I lost my mom going on 11 years now. And that's where my true staple is. Just the way that she really pushed me, made me really hard. You know what I mean? Shoot, I remember games in college where, I'd be like letting it slip or whatever. At the Ohio State University, my mom, Southern mom, was like, get your shit together, Hale, from the stands. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? But like, it's that type of thing that kind of pushes me to another level, just kind of a different standard, a different expectation that I can hold myself to. So that's really what pushes me all together. And then other than that, like everything I do, I really um I don't do a lot for me. I really do a lot for other people because whether it's, giving someone something to believe in, something to shoot for, giving them a standard to live by, whatever that is really just trying to upgrade everybody around me. Give them that extra opportunity, that extra chance, that extra look, that extra support, whatever that may be that can get them to the next level and whatever that is for their life. Like it's hard out there and the world's relentless. So it's like my biggest thing is like tomorrow's coming whether you like it or not. What's your next move? Yeah, you got to move because when my mom passed away, I thought the world was going to stop for a minute. Give me a break, let me figure it out. And it's like, fuck, nope, here it comes again. Here it comes again. Here it comes again. It's like when you realize that and take that realization into effect, like your outlook changes a bit. So that's one of the things that's the thing that like pushes. I always try to push things to the next level, whether it be for myself, which is normally for everybody else anyway, so that we can have a platform, have a place, have a conversation, whatever that may be, that we can, keep pushing upward.
Sure. Yeah, support systems, everything. And
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I feel very lucky, and I'm sure you feel the same, just to like have the mentors that you did throughout your career, and that kind of forces and pushes you to want to do the same for, your players and everyone else around you. And I know I can say like you've been a huge part in keeping me going, so just wanted to shout you out for that.
Appreciate you.
This game is like so brutal and so up and down, but like the highs are really high, and you got to have people around you to kind of keep you going.
Absolutely.
It is the
I
most
appreciate that.
humbling game of all time.
Oh man, just when you think you got it, it'll let you know you ain't that good.
Nope.
Yeah, you don't respect this game, it will let you know really fast.
But yeah, you could hit a ball as hard as you can, caught, and then you can get one off the end of the bat and it's a bloop single.
Yeah, so I try to tell the boys too. It's like, dude, you just got to evaluate the moment. Did what you were trying to do, did it happen? Cool. Like, you're going to do things right all the time. And in life too. You're going to do things absolutely right, and you're still going to get the result that you didn't want. What's your next move? What's your next move?
Could not agree with you more. My dad always used to tell me that baseball is a microcosm of life, just continuous lessons after continuous life lessons. And, going from baseball and then life after baseball, that could not be more true.
Dude, 110%. Like I believe that, baseball is like your dad said, the microcosm of life. Absolutely. Like every facet of baseball you can apply to life. Period. End of story. End of story. From the way that you get ready, then you prepare, to how you have to focus literally pitch by pitch. You have got to look for the answers that are right in front of you and put the puzzle together now. You got to make the adjustments right now on the fly. It's 110%. It's life.
Absolutely. You could say things are simple in baseball, but that does not mean they're easy.
No, 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 no. And you got to be okay with the monotony too. You've got to be okay with the monotony. And I honestly, like, you think about how many people go so far and they're like one shovel scoop away from doing it. And they're like, I'm tired. I'm good. I'm done. You know what I mean? That's it. You got to be obsessed with it.
And I guess that kind of leads me into my next question with, you training and coaching kids. What goes into that, not only physically, but mentally, especially in the younger kids? Because since baseball is such a hard mental game, you can have a gifted physical kid and then the mentality is just not there. How do you train them physically and mentally to be prepared?
Yeah, really, it's, I think reason why a lot of kids and families come to me is because I'm the one that gives the hard truth all the time. I can't sugarcoat it. It's not going to do you or I any good in any of the situation. And I'm going to let you know the reality of how hard this is. And I need you to understand that. And I need you to be okay with tripping and falling and busting your face the entire way through this. You just have to get back up. The biggest thing is if you get back up and then you evaluate before you make your next decision. As long as you go and take the time and don't go up there and get angry. Don't go up there and just go swing again or go throw another pitch. Like, start thinking about what's actually happening. Because at the end of the day, the results are coming from the machine. What's the machine? We are the machine. If you understand how the machine operates fully without worrying about what the result is, I can adjust the result any way that I want. You can have terrible mechanics, and I can get you to throw that ball in that square. I can get you to hit the ball. Like, that's not the connection that we're trying to make. We're trying to make, do you understand what the machine, what your body is doing? When we do understand that, then we can start controlling the outcomes. So let's get less focused on what the result is. The result's going to happen. What's the machine doing to produce that result? Because you have a choice in all this. Now let's break it down. If you miss it, so what? How did you react after the miss? That to me is better than the miss. I'm okay with the miss as long as you react correctly. And realize you're in a failured sport. You're going to fail all the time. I'm cool with it. I can deal with failure. I can't deal with the poutiness or the attitude after. And I'm cool with you being upset, but you have a moment. You have a split-second moment to be upset, but then you need to start figuring out the puzzle. So whenever I get them to think more of like how things work, why things are happening, how can I move, what's my body telling me, then I tend to get them focused off of what the result is all the time. And I get them more focused on the process. If you can get them obsessed with the process, we can figure out the results. So that's where I just try to get them lost in the mechanics and the thinking of how do I approach? What am I seeing? How am I evaluating? And then the results they just automatically happen.
That's awesome. That's a really good approach.
Thank you. Yeah, we tried every stuff. Trust me, I didn't get there in one day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm a big quality over quantity guy. But if you don't give me the quality, we're going to do a large quantity. And that's the thing big with the kids. It's like, just give me the best effort possible. Each and every rep. Show me the intensity and the effort and the focus and the great attitude with what you're doing. We can move on. But if you give me half-assed, if you don't give me the best you got, I don't know how you're going to make this game speed throw. Game speed. We don't know how to operate there. We never go there. And when you go there once and you fail, you never go there again. Well, what are we going to do in the game? Because that's the only way we can go. If you go slow, he's safe. Less than 4 seconds to get the ball to first base. You know what I mean? That's one of the other driving forces that we do in practice is we practice really fast, super dynamic, people crossing the field while people are throwing, just so that their spatial awareness raises up. We have communication and understand where's the ball going, where can I go, where can I not go. And I try to just always practice way faster than the game could ever be for them. That way, when the game's happening, it's just super slow, and there's a lot of thinking time now. And we should be processing really fast. And now that we've processed it, we can now start to evaluate what's getting ready to happen or what could happen instead of just reacting to the play all the time.
100%.
I know you're a very analytical player, and obviously you spent a lot of time pitching. I'm sure you were an athlete, you know, in all facets growing up. Where does that kind of come from, the coaches you mentioned earlier, on just, you know, learning so much about the game? Like, I know you give fielding lessons, you give hitting lessons, like, and you probably spent most of your time as a pitcher. So, like, where did you learn all that from? Was it from the same people you mentioned earlier? And yeah, how did you learn more about the game like that to be able to coach all different areas?
I am super obsessed with this game. Like, I am super obsessed with this game. I love to learn about this game. In college, I would sit in, and I did it in the pro ball and such too. But in college, I started to sit in on the hitters' meetings just because I was done with my work and didn't have anything else to do. Well, after I sat in on my first one, I sat in the rest of them because they were having really in-depth talks about approach, you know, what they're trying to do, how their setups were because they couldn't get to this pitch or they couldn't get to that pitch. Well, maybe if we raise our hands up here, maybe if you lower them in the pocket, or, you know, whenever they started talking about that stuff, that's the shit I really started to pay attention to. So it did it. I was more paying attention to it in the facet of, well, how do I get these guys out now when they're making these adjustments? And can I see them making these adjustments? And, you know, so I really started getting obsessed with that portion of it. But then I was thinking about, you know, a lot of times, honestly, it come from the late night talks. The late night talks after the game. College, not so much. Didn't happen as often with the teams I played with, but like in pro ball, you know, after the game, we ain't got anything to do. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, we're still coming off the high of playing. So we'll just chill in the hotel or wherever we're at and just start talking scenarios. He did this and I was looking that. And, you know, then I really understood the hitting portion. You know, I got to talk with some really great minds in the hitting portion. And then from there, like in pro ball, I knew that at some point I'm gonna get old. My body's gonna break down. It's just gonna be what it is. But I want to stay in baseball. You know, I didn't know if I want to go coach college or pro or anything like that, but I definitely wanted to stay in baseball. And so that's when I was like, well, I don't want to just be held down to be a pitching coach because there's only so many positions of that. So I was like, well, at least if I could do it all, you know, then I could be a manager, right? I knew the running game. I knew the, you know, the pitching game, you know, all of that type of stuff. So now it was kind of like understanding all the positions. How do these guys move? And I'm already, you know, I read hitters a lot. So I was like, oh, I can read body language, and started watching the fielders move and how they're shifting their weight and understanding what they're trying to do to these things. And then the catchers, you know, obviously worked with catchers every day. So, you know, started to listen in on, you know, their processes. And obviously since I played, there's so much more new setups and movements and these whole drop downs and shit like that. So just evolving with the game as well, you know. But I think that's the fun part. I'm just obsessed with baseball. So I knew that I wanted to stay in baseball, and knowing all the facets of the game was going to keep me in baseball, hopefully make me valuable enough for somebody uh, to have around.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those games where you can always continue to learn. Like, I feel like I still am learning more and more, whether it's from you or just like a coach saying something a little bit differently that makes you think a little bit differently. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden you start to put all the pieces together, and, you know, you become obsessed with it and you learn, you know, even more.
Yeah, I mean, you get down such a rabbit hole, as I call it, and you could just go so far. It's endless possibilities, you know. So um, I can't love it enough, honestly. My wife probably hates me, but I love baseball.
100%. And I think that's one thing we all have in common. We love baseball and softball, and you
Hmm.
know, even looking at your gloves and what you've been able to do with designing them and personalizing them is truly incredible. So my next question is related to, that side of what you do. And so here's the question. So who was the first glove that you ever designed for someone? And do you have a favorite glove that you have done?
The first glove that I ever designed for anybody.
It was
I think
mine.
it was
I'm just kidding.
I think it was for an in-depth glove that I did was for my nephew. I did him an Ohio State glove. I did like a little red crown tip with gray fingers, a gray palm, had black binding and welting on it, and I put V across the crown right there. I put the O logo, but it had instead of like Ohio State through it, it had his name through it, said Joey. And then on the JH, I had the Buckeye leaf coming off the JH. That's it. Dude, it was pretty dope. But other than that, my favorite is probably my Jordan series. My Jordan series is pretty cool. Have so the one where I have the patent leather on it. These are like the J11s. This is probably my favorite. So we can't see it there. We did the mesh here and then the leather striping. So it looks like the lace loops coming up to grab it. And then obviously the black patent leather with the red bottom. This was one of my babies. I like the infielder ones better, but this was the only one I got left. This is one of my favorite designs.
That's awesome.
All the
Yeah.
universities sold.
Yeah. Yeah. University's gone.
Yeah, those are sweet.
Both cherries are gone. Cats has one of the cherries.
They're talking
Yeah.
with cats. Or yeah, Danny and Miles will be talking with cats.
Hmm.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone looking to buy a glove, what sets Jay's performance apart from, other brands like Rawlings or Wilson?
Well, the initial price difference, obviously, but after that, we use the same leathers and such that they do. We also source from the same manufacturing because we use multiple manufacturers. Just depends what we need, what we want. But honestly, I'll really customize it any way you want. Anything you want to put on it, I'll put it on it. I'll find the space to put it on it. I'll make the space to put it on it. Obviously, there's some, limitations to the space that we do have on the glove to be able to put endless amount of things. But, the imagery that you want to put on it, as long as it's not incredibly intricate in a small space, we'll blow it up and try to get it on there. I just try to give you your own voice. That's my biggest thing. And if you're having trouble getting your own voice out there, contact us. We'll help you. But I'm going to offer endless customizations. Anywhere you want something, as long as it fits, I'll put it there for you. If you want a certain design, a cut, a leather, you tell us, we'll go find it. We're always experimenting with new options, new ideas. I mean, I put green fur on a glove. One thing that Rawlings behind the patch does really well is they create these kind of unique gloves. Well, we sell them. You know what I mean? So they just create them and keep them. We sell those things. So we want you to have that option. We want you to have your voice out there with whatever you're trying to do.
I think that ties in perfectly with the Shalom Sluggers, like your voice matters. That's exactly what this whole podcast and this whole brand is about. Just like being able to share everyone's story and, highlight them in any way we can, especially, within our little community and our little tribe.
Yeah.
Speaking of the tribe, I feel like you've kind of been an honorary member. Just, obviously you you customized my glove. Like, just long story short, like Jake and I ran into each other at a local park here, and like everything just kind of clicked from there, and the rest is history. But since then, you've created so many, gloves for my teammates that have Star Davids on them or Israeli flags, whatever it may be. How's it feel to kind of like be part of that community that you've grown into? What's it been like to like learn a little bit more about the Jewish culture and heritage?
It's cool. It's cool. You guys have really kind of accepted me with open arms. It's really cool. I'm glad to be a part of it. Like I said, I'm here for the voice. And you guys have really given me that opportunity to help get the voice out there for you guys, and it's been fantastic. I've been able to meet a lot of people and get connected with a lot of people, and I love you guys. I know I keep hating to say you guys as if we're different. You know what I mean? But I feel honored. I feel kind of just blessed that it's just accepting, because it's hard times for everybody, right? You guys are having a hell of a time right now, and I'm not political or any of that stuff. So to me, like, I'm a little bit out of touch with everything, but I understand. You know what I mean? And I'm just here for support. Here for the voice, and this just gives us another outlet for it. Another way to go and spread that voice, that unification, that support, that pride, in every facet. I mean, that's like you said it, hit it right on the head. Is like, that's kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you realize like what you're doing with your gloves is really special for our people, and like allowing us to express ourselves proudly on the field is like really important. So, yeah, I just want to reiterate that. I know we're all really appreciative of the work that goes in behind the gloves and all the time you spend and all the intricate details. Like that means a lot to us. So, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I love doing it. I actually got one sitting in my lap right here. You know, this is
There it is.
the yeah, this is the one that's got the skyline on it. Let's see if I get this lace out of the way. Yeah,
That's so cool.
and then what's that? Spreading joy, spread
Yeah,
joy.
spread
Hmm.
joy.
Yeah. So this came out really sick. Looks really good.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it's fun, man. Like, I've always wanted to create like a t-shirt company when I was a kid. So this gives me that opportunity to like really get my voice out with something that I know. Granted, the t-shirts and stuff are gonna come, but no, I really like doing the baseball stuff. It's such a joy to see the kids out there and all the players just super hyped. You get new leather and you get out there and you get to go flash it around. It makes you feel different. And that's the feeling I want everybody to have, whether the best player in the world or just trying it out, or I like to do this for fun. I want you to feel good doing it too. I want you to be prideful in what you got.
Absolutely. I think that's also the best thing about baseball is at the end of the day when you're playing, doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what you believe, you still got to field the same ball. You still got to throw it to the same base. You still got to do everything the same as the other team, just better.
Exactly.
So I think that's, so cool what you're doing. As Maddie said, it's incredible to see, especially, I'm gonna be a little biased here, but in the Jewish culture, especially what has gone on in the past almost 2 years in October, it means a lot that other people are speaking up in their own way, like you said. And I can't thank you enough for that.
Oh, I appreciate that, guys. And like I said, I'm here for whatever y'all need. You guys have been fantastic to me. Open your arms up to that family that you have, and I really appreciate everything that you guys are including me in.
100%. And, I told Maddie actually before you hopped on, I was like, I would love one day to get out to San Diego and come visit you and do like a live podcast where it's like of the facility, of, like how you make the gloves and all that kind of stuff. Because I think that would be so cool to show people what really does go into it, because the gloves are so personal and they're so creative and just every other name under the sun. I think it'd be really cool for people to really understand how much work you do and how it gets to be so special.
I appreciate that, man. That'd be cool. Yeah, we're gonna set up a studio here. We're working on setting that up now, and hopefully it's all set up by the time you get here. But I would definitely love to show you all that and do all that. We got a facility here in my backyard where Maddie comes and works out, and right down the street is where all the fields. I mean, like less than a mile away is the farthest I work from home. So I go and we do all the kids stuff there, and then I have my home office that I do all the glove building and designing and everything. And it's a process that I take very seriously. I don't kind of just put things together. That's sometimes I probably spend a lot more time than I should on a glove, but it means something at the end of the day. It's not just, oh, I can throw a text here or a script here. Like, dude, I'll go spend 20, 30 minutes finding the right font. It's like it means something, and I think maybe that's what's different. I go the extra mile. I don't just go and say, here's a couple fonts that we offer. I hope you like them. I want you to show me what you want. Tell me what you want. I'll go find it. I'll go make it happen. If not, I'll do it from scratch and I'll make the stuff you want. You know what I mean? So I can't appreciate you guys enough, and I'd love to kind of have you down here and show you all that and see how it all goes. It's something that I need to do too that I haven't done yet. So I'll be excited for that.
Don't even get him started on the clinics, Danny.
I wasn't going, but yeah, that's what we're looking to do in the near future too for clinics and stuff. But we're hoping that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping to grow it and kind of spread more awareness about it and, really get kids to buy in at a younger age, whether that's just, like you said, throwing the ball around for a little bit or, putting your all into it. Because I think it's just baseball is one of those only games left that I feel like every little thing is connected to life and it teaches you how to be a part of a team because it's the ultimate team sport where you have so many moving parts that, you have your starting lineup, you have your bench, you have your starters, you have your relief pitchers. Softball, same thing. Like sometimes you're only as good as that day's starting pitcher. Like you never know
Hmm.
what you're going to
Yep.
get. And I think that that's what makes baseball so great is, you got these teams in the wild card. Like, when it was one game, watching all hands on deck, the starters warming up, their best starters warming up in the ninth inning coming into close, or, they're going to pinch hit and squeeze a run here with a squeeze bunt, stuff like that. You
Hmm.
don't get to see in other sports. And I think, again, I just keep saying that's what makes baseball the best game. And I just, I love it because football, like, if you have if you're, if you're an SEC school, right, and you have a football team, like you play one of the mid majors, like, yeah, you're probably going to roll them. I mean, it's probably not be
Right.
competitive, but baseball, like, you never know. They can win very easily.
Oh yeah, I tell the kids all the time. I was like, that's why I don't bet on baseball.
Hmm.
Like you have no idea what's going to happen that day. You
No.
never know who's just going to show up and who's not. Who's clicking, who's not. Like there could be someone that is just absolutely on a roll and the other team just syncs up that day. There's just nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? You can't hit their pitch that's coming right down the middle. And for some reason, they're hitting all your good stuff on the edges. It's just going to be that day. You know what I mean? There are baseball gods. I believe in
So do I.
Yeah, me too.
them. Oh, that's funny.
Well, anyway, thank you, Jake, so much for giving the time out of your day, coming on, telling your story. I really appreciate it. And, Maddie, if you want to say anything else, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I say this on, well, in the last couple, just feel like all my worlds are kind of colliding, which is very cool. And, just happy to bring Jake along. I know he's done a ton for me in this game and the year and a half that we've known each other and, just keeping me motivated to get out there. And obviously my glove is, as an infielder and someone who like loves defense a lot, like my glove has been one of the best ones that I've ever broken in and gotten to play with. And I mean, I've only had like 2 or 3 real gloves in my life. Hopefully I can get another one in the next couple of years, but this one is definitely, one of my favorites and it just means that much more when I can express my identity on it and, a place in a country that means so much to me on a field where I'm playing the game that I love so much. Yeah, but long story short, just been fun to connect all my pieces together and grow this community and grow the game and give back in a way too.
Absolutely. It's been awesome to watch you grow, Mad Dog. I know I've been pushing you out of your comfort zone a lot, but you're doing well. You're handling it well. It's awesome to see kind of in the path that you're going. One of the things that I always heard, and I still believe to this day, you're on the right path when it disappears. I mean, that's you making your own way. That's the path that you really want to make. You don't want to go and just following somebody else's footsteps. It's already there. Yeah, could that be successful? Absolutely, but that's just gonna be boring.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be the same shit, different day with the same like. I don't want to jump through hoops. Like I've been offered to go coach pro ball, college ball, high school ball. That's not something I want to do. I really just want to do my own thing and create my own platform for people to come and grow their own direction. You know what I mean? And I want everybody to kind of think as JH as less of a brand and more of a culture, because that's what we're doing. We're here for the individual, the group. We're here really trying to build an all around amazing individual. Just so happens we're trying to do it with a brand. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that's really what I want everybody to understand about JH. It's like I'm working to take over the world just as a culture as a whole rather than as a product. That's not what I'm here for. It's just giving me an opportunity to connect my culture with, whatever product I have out there.
Yeah, definitely goes beyond just the glove itself. I think that's also what has made my time a part of like the JH fam so special too. It's like I feel like I'm a very loyal person and, you know,
Hmm.
I'm connected to a small group of like in my inner circle and I feel like that's exactly what the whole brand is about. So I think that's just what makes it more special and what people want to be part of too.
Right on. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. And again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. It was awesome. And I think our audience is really going to like it.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Jake.